Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Mike Brenner. We are the Odds Couple. We come to you from SportsbookReview.com, SBROdds.com. Today is Monday, December 12th, and this is the opening line show, the Monday opening line show for NFL Week 15. Yeah, Mike Brenner, let's throw the record up because last week you had a ton of picks and mostly went 50-50. I'm not sure if you won a little or lost a little, but mostly went 50-50. But as our viewers can see, your record overall is great. You're up 12.5 units on the year, up about 7% ROI over 160 picks. It's very, very well done. Again, last week you had some great calls, you had some bad calls,
I had a
kind of
couple.
50-50
I'm looking at
overall.
myself going, wait a minute, But, Pete, I'm going to reel back a little bit this week. Tightening up at the end of the season. I just can't believe it's week 15. It seems like 3 weeks ago we were saying, damn it, it's going to be first regular season soon.
I mean, you didn't have a bad week last week. It was just very 50-50-ish.
I know, but I just expect better, and there's a few things I think I should have done a little better.
Right. All right. Well, let's first start with the
How about you? How was your weekend?
Well, I just had one pick last week, and it was Washington.
And
you know, which nailed it. Yeah.
Come on.
And I have one going tonight, though, which we'll talk about. Let's devote the first part of this show to this game tonight,
I
Baltimore,
like that.
because I gave Baltimore on the opening line show last week at plus 7.5 minus 115. It's now down to 6 market wide, but we've been talking today. You have some new information and a new take on this game that makes you like New England. And I have to say, Mike Brenner, it's pretty damn convincing. Why don't you go into that?
I like it. What's the line sitting at right now?
Right now, it's 6 market wide.
Exactly. I like it, Pete. I like the first half and I like the game. All right, the Patriots are now in a situation with that Oakland loss. It opens up the door. They've got a half a game lead. If they win tonight, that gives them a full game lead, all right, for first place in the division, for playoffs. That's what they want. Tom Brady said that is one of their goals, all right, and if they could grab home field advantage all the way through, that's what they want, all right, and I like that confidence. But what really just threw me onto this was I was reading deep and talked to another friend of mine that really puts me onto some good stuff. Baltimore Ravens, all right, they play this team pretty good, all right, Patriots have gotten the best of them, but, all right, Belichick had made a comment when they asked about Flacco, and Flacco had already made a comment in the news, and not in a negative way, but he put out there that, this team, we don't have a winning record versus them since I've been here. He said on a positive note, he said, my stats are better than Tom Brady, so that gives me something to be proud about. So here's a guy bragging about his stats over Brady. All right, Brady's a guy that loves chips on his shoulder. He'll silently smile and go, oh, yeah, I can see where he'd say that. Hell no, they're pissed off. Bill Belichick now was asked, about Flacco and his success there, and he said, well, guess what? He's a good quarterback, but we're ready for this challenge tonight. I love it. I think the first half and the full game. And the bottom line, Flacco, after coming off a great game, which he threw for exactly 300 yards last week, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, all right. The next thing that happens in that movie, because I've seen that movie a bunch of times, and I could be wrong, Pete, this could go south, but usually he implodes. There's something like he rests on his laurels. He has a hard time putting back-to-back efforts together that are totally consistent with a quarterback rating of 100 or above. So with that being said, and then you throw that stuff on the wall in the locker room, all right, well, I get the best of Brady. Look, you're at home. You're in Foxborough. It's going to be cold. I know your defense is good. Here's another stat, Pete, and you can look it up. It's exact, to the number. All right, New England's defense, and I've been saying it all year, quietly, a very good defense, all right? They're tied second in the NFL with the Ravens at 17.3 points allowed per game. That is damn good news, and that's a good place to be in right now when you're at home, because Flacco's due for a Flacco, and you got a pissed off Brady, even though they're going to be without Gronkowski for the rest of the year. Guess what?
And is Brady banged up? I remember last week.
They say, but you know what? I heard nothing but 100%
they got the drugs,
practice.
They got the anti-inflammatories, the
and you've always
painkillers.
said that. They're going to shoot him up right before game time. He'll be feeling like a champ. Hell, he might hit the corner. But with that being said, Pistol Pete, I love it. I think it's their spot, and I think Baltimore last week with that big win, I think might be flying a little bit too high here, and I think New England will bring them back to ground, baby.
All right, I'm going to pull my pick. I'm going to take New England -6, which means if it lands on 7, I get 2 winners.
You get both,
nice
and you know what? You deserve it, buddy, because you're good people.
I do deserve it.
But I'm going 2 ways on official.
Okay,
this will be for last week's record. The best shop line on that half, is it still 3.5?
It's 3.5 -106. Pinnacle line, standard
line. And the full game -6. I'm going the whole way,
-108. Okay, you're going both ways. All right.
I sure am. I love it, Pete. I really like that. When you get locker room material like that against a team like that with Belichick as your coach, that spells doom. And, Amendola might not be playing, but this guy will find anybody. He'll make somebody look like a champ by the end of the game. So
if this were still 7.5, I wouldn't pull it. I would go with it, but I'm going to take it back with New England -6. Wide open for a possible middle there or a side. All right, Mike Brenner. Now we got a bunch of other lines for the opening lines tonight. I don't even know where to start. A lot of interest. Well, let's start with the first interesting game that I think might have some value. I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer on paper, right? Oakland at San Diego. Oakland, of course, coming off of the loss, coming off the long week, and San Diego, Melvin Gordon got banged up. I don't know what his Joey Bosa got banged up. I don't know what his
And what did Rivers do? He threw 3 more.
Yeah. Now, yes. Now,
3 more picks. Pete.
Yeah, it's a little bit iffy to take to go against San Diego as a home dog like this, but I don't know. You can still get -2.5 at some places. It's 3+ money at other places. What do you think about Oakland to bounce back?
I still think Oakland is a very good road team, especially ATS-wise, especially under Jack Del Rio. I think there's enough confidence within that team, youth-wise, even though Carr's not really young anymore, all right, but he's becoming a veteran. I think they bounce back, and I think they stomp on a dead horse, all right? When you got Phillip Rivers now probably thrown 8 or 9 interceptions in the last 3 games, and that's probably a very accurate stat because he did throw 3 this week, Pete. They have to bounce back Oakland just for the fact because now they're 10-3, right? But still, they expected to be 11-2. They could have got that game. They didn't. The conditions were cold. Yeah, I like them. They bounce back. I haven't gone official. What's the line sitting at?
Well, it's Heritage has 2.5 -120. Pinnacle has -3 +109.
What's your thoughts, Pistol? What's your thoughts? Come on.
It seems like an obvious play on Oakland
because San Diego's got nothing to play for, right?
Yeah,
they're done. It's over. They got to get. Oh man. You know what? Let's do it together. I think that's going to be good luck.
I don't know.
Tune in later, baby.
All right. Well, is there anything that you do like? Mike
there
Brenner?
is.
Okay,
there is. I like one, and I'm going to jump on it right now. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons. The full game was available at -12.5 earlier today.
13.
He's jumped up
13
to 13
-110.
Okay. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take them on the first half, which I'll give the bookmaker or the Pinnacle opener.
Sure, whichever you want. If you think it's going to get bet up, take the bookmaker.
Yeah, I'm going to take bookmaker because I think it is going to get bet up.
Okay.
I'm going to settle with the 13 on the game. This team, and last week I had a feeling, all right, that was one of my cashers. I had them on a half or something. I really felt that they grabbed a hold of it again and their defense stepped up massively. They had a couple pick sixes, a fumble return for, Dan Quinn shined as far as defense in that game, and Matt Ryan unleashed. I think that momentum continues because you're looking at a coach that's already been told you're done. It's over. All right, that team is so lost. I mean, they're more lost in the television series, Pete. All right, Atlanta's got to blow out the 49ers, and if I'm correct, it's at home.
Yeah, it is.
I'm all
Atlanta's
over it.
At home.
Half in the game, baby.
All right, -13,
I'm loving that one. Matty
-110.
Ryan, go, baby.
All right, and then let's see, what else do we have here? We have, I don't know, we have Detroit and the Giants. Giants coming off an upset win, of course, over Dallas, and Detroit got the win. They didn't get the cover, as I suspected.
I know,
might
and
happen.
you said that.
Yeah, and here, look, I mean, the Giants, talented team. They've been winning and covering for sure.
Their defense.
Not sold on them as like a team that's reliable to bet on week in and week out, despite how well they've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Detroit +4.5. Stafford had a banged up finger in his last game. Not sure how much that's going to. It was his middle finger on his right hand.
And they're in New York, though, aren't they?
Yeah, it's at New York. Big question is how much will Stafford be affected by that right hand? If it's more than is being reported, then that'll be a bad thing, obviously. But I'm thinking that as of right now, as we sit here on Monday, Detroit +4.5 might be worth a play. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to be using them on a teaser. As far as the side, just on the game, I'm staying off right now because Eli Manning still with Beckham. It's like they have that one big play, but the offense is still sputtering. They're not doing a whole lot. That defense though stepped up without JJP, whatever Jason Pierre-Pair, JPP. All right, they stepped up from all over the place, and that defense, when it starts playing well, they're pretty much the anchor to that team. With that being said, Stafford on the road with conditions weather-wise, I don't know. That's an outside stadium compared to where he's playing.
Tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Pete. I got to lay off it, but I am going to be using them on a teaser. Is the full game still at 4.5?
4 or 4.5.
Yeah,
Chris
come
looks
on.
at 4.
Wow.
Yeah, they have 4.5. All right, now next one. Let's just talk about it, right?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
RG3 in his first game back, starting for Cleveland.
Yeah, he did great, didn't he?
Well,
he lit it up. That's right. They lost by 30.
Yeah, he did improve. He did improve a bit in the second half. Now they're going into Buffalo, getting 10. I'm not saying that Cleveland's going to get a win here.
I love your spirit.
Well, I mean, at some point they got to be a good bet. I mean, I guess
Pete, you've been saying that all year, and I love you.
But I've been smart enough not to
This
pull the
might be
trigger
the
on
week,
them.
though. Guess why? This might be the week.
Because
I've
the
already
Bills
looked at it. Is it still at 11.5 at some spots?
No, 10.5 plus 120. 10.5 minus 120 at Pinnacle, and then 10
I think it was
everywhere
5
else.
dimes was hanging plus 11.5 or minus 120
yeah,
early. That was
that's a
way
teaser
early.
line, though.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. First thing I read when I sat down at my desk this week is that, Ryan might be gone by the time we're done this damn video. All right, and him and the GM will not be making fences men. Here's the thing, Pete. He could win out. He could win out, and his job's done. Tyrod Taylor, what a mess of money that was. What a loss, and we've called that one. That is a 10-foot pole for me right now. But if there was any week for Cleveland, not just to cover ATS, but maybe get that elusive first win, it might be this week, because now you got the players saying, we don't give a shit no more. They really don't, Pete. The fans can't stand Ryan now. They want him out. They want both the brothers out. It might be the week.
Yeah, you know what? I will go on it right now.
goes.
I'll take the Pinnacle line plus 10.5
Probably not going to
minus
get bet up
120.
any. I wouldn't
Yeah,
guess.
plus 10.5 minus 120. I'll
like-
take a
I
shot
like
with
the
it.
big balls
you'll
play
need
of the
you'll
day.
need a little bit of improvement from RG3, and you'll need a bit of spirit from Cleveland to try to
There's
at
got to
least-
be
at least
everybody
get
in
a
that
win.
locker room saying, guys, we're not going out 0-16. We got to get it done. And that is probably a hell of a lot more confidence than the other locker room that's saying, what the hell happened here? Another Rex Ryan implosion.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I will take that one. Now,
I like that, Pete. You've been pulling for that team.
Now let's take another one.
I
This
think
is-
you're a Browns fan deep
No.
down underneath. Come on.
I'm a fan of looking for
Value, baby.
under the radar value
Yes,
with big
I know
dogs.
that.
All right, now let's talk about Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Right, Pittsburgh, a very impressive team. Cincinnati, no slouch as well. With Eifert back, the passing game is working, and Cincinnati's a whole
Cash for
dog.
me this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no disrespect to Pittsburgh, but is Pittsburgh really that much better than Cincinnati
don't think
that they
so.
should be a field goal favorite on the road? What do you think?
I don't think so, but I'm not going to pull the trigger. But yeah, Cincinnati the last couple of weeks, and it made a big difference when they got their tight end back.
Yeah.
Now they're playing with confidence. You got the defense back. You got a coach that was already told, hey, buddy, that flame is absolutely burning, okay? So that team's playing with a purpose, and haven't had that early in the year. They really lost sight of the direction they were going. But, Pete, I'm still scratching my head. I don't think Pittsburgh demands that kind of attention and that much respect.
Yeah, I mean,
on
they
the
have-
road in a
look, they
place
have-
that has
right.
just historically been a tough place for them.
On the other hand, though, they have been winning and covering week in and week out.
I know.
So,
I mean, it might be an absolute beauty for a teaser. Imagine throwing 10 on top of that.
Yeah. All right, and then another one I want to think about. How about this one, Mike Brenner? Green Bay, of course, got the big win last week. You're on Green Bay.
Love
Well,
it.
Green Bay got the win. I'm thinking about Chicago, though. Green Bay got the big win. Aaron Rodgers, the reports are that he's got some hamstring issues. Obviously, he was fine last week, but played through it. And the Bears, now
be
they're
a
back
letdown
home,
spot,
getting the
too.
touchdown. The Packers pounded Seattle. Bears played Detroit tight. Obviously, the Bears have all sorts of issues. Their receivers are getting suspended and injured and everything. The Bears are a team with a lot of negatives surrounding them, but I'm thinking maybe getting 7 here at home might have some value. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a lot of points. It was 5 open, and it had already
now it's
moved
up to 7.
Yeah, well, look, I had it 5 earlier, that just shows you, no, I'm off on that with 7, especially after you just updated me on the hamstring
With Rodgers. Well, but there was the same report last week.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter at all.
And they look
So,
great, but you know what?
Yeah.
That when you come off a huge win like that against a big
Right.
team that was favored, and I mean, I lost on that one. I took it. I own it. I lost on that. I wonder if they do come out flat. Now, had this been the team of past, literally with the Packers that was consistent week in and week out, I would say, you know what, hell. But you're right. They might overlook this team.
It's just the Bears are one
It
of
is
these
a rival,
teams.
though.
They're bad, but hopefully they're scrappy. Hopefully they have some pluck to them, and they got the rookie quarterback who's trying to get
Of course. And you got an offensive coordinator trying to earn the job of the head coach that's going to get fired. That's also in the makes. Pete, I got to stay the hell off
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Now let's take another one that also might be a 10-foot pole game, but is definitely an interesting game, and that's Miami and the Jets. Right now we know that Tannehill, I believe reports are he's out for the year, so that means Moore is going to be starting, and the Jets, of course, this will be Petty's second start after the OT win at
That was
San
amazing
Francisco.
comeback, even though it was against San Francisco.
Now I'm thinking I want to look into more about what the Jets have right here, but just based on how things went last week, feels like it shapes up for a win and covered by Miami here.
Well, more so, you're thinking with Miami.
Yeah.
With Matt Moore. That's an
Right.
experienced quarterback.
Right.
He has definitely experience, and obviously they have him ready. I have to stay off it because any type of injury that, this far into the season, not that I'm thinking all that great of Tannehill, but,
Right.
They did get the win, Miami,
Yes.
right? They did get that win. They needed that win, so that's a focused team. I don't know. I got to stay the hell off it. You got the other side, though. They like this coach. They know he might lose his job. He's one of those players' coaches, and the Jets are playing for him. But still, Bryce Petty, I mean, I wasn't sold on him. I think he's going to make some more mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't know, Pete. I got to stay the hell off it.
All right, Mike Brenner. And then, okay, well, there's one other game let's talk about individually, specifically, and make sure we get to. Oh, sure. The Monday night game, Carolina at Washington. Washington, a very impressive team, winning and covering and going over week in and week out. And Carolina coming off the win. They got helped by turnovers in that one. Luke Kuechly, I'm reading, is day-to-day. He might be back. If he is back, how effective will he be? B, how much will that help them psychologically? And then you got Cam Newton, what to expect from him. Washington.
Did you see that outfit he wore at a press conference? Holy shit! Who is his designer?
Washington giving 4.5 to Carolina. I don't know. We were talking about how Carolina is a team in general that we're looking to bet against, and that the Redskins, as we did last week, a team we're looking to bet on, and we cashed that one. They're given 4.5, which is not a ton of points, but also not a small amount of points. What do you think, Mike Brenner?
It's in Washington.
Yeah,
and you
Monday
know what?
night.
Yep, Monday night. I think Cam Newton. All right, because he wanted to show Riverboat because of that debacle the week before with the not the tie. And for real, I think that's why he played hard this week. Now they go on the road, and there's nothing more to play for.
Right.
They know the season's over. And if this team allows Kuechly to even suit up the rest of the year, shame on them. All right, if you're going to preserve that guy, you better. His family's already fighting for him to stop. But anyway,
he has been. I've been reading that he's been practicing.
He's
but
stubborn.
Not
They say he
cleared.
is stubborn. But here's the deal: what good is he going to get out of it? And that team doesn't have a lot to play for. That was a huge win by the Skins on the road. Okay. They got that big W. They earned it. They're going to get this. If it's 4.5, I'm all over it, and I'm going to take just the full game peak because I think that might move up by the end of the week.
Yeah, it might.
Tell her what Cam Newton might get into by the end of the week.
4.5 minus 105. You want that one, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to take it 4.5.
All right. I guess. Are there any other picks you want to give on these opening lines?
Well, there's actually. I'm going to say it, and you're going to get. You're kidding me? It might not even be available.
Let's hear what.
Baltimore was looking at minus 5.5, and I know they haven't played yet, Pete. You're going to lay into me while I'm He's going to lay into me.
Well, they're at home against Philly. Yeah, there is a bet online line here at minus 6.
Oh, it's 6 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
You want to take it?
I'm taking it, baby, because if Flacco goes down, I would even like it more. But here's the thing. Philadelphia is now totally deflated. That team, I heard after this loss to Washington, now they got some camaraderie issues with some players. Now you have some players saying Peterson's the man. Some are saying, no, he's not. When that happens, you're going on the road against a team that's going to be pissed off because they're going to lose tonight. I'm banking on the night. I love you, Pete Loshak.
Yeah.
You kill me. This is a no-brainer. I think this is going to be a 14-plus.
Really?
And, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have 5 dimes. It's not a market line yet, but 5 dimes, sportsbetting.ag, and BetOnline all do have minus 6, minus 110. So we can give you that line on this one.
I love it. I just think it's a smart play. I think they're going to do it. And Baltimore's too well coached, and they will come in ready, barring no matter what, to take place if they had injuries tonight. But I see them going down tonight, and I see them bouncing back, needing the win, because they will be needing a win against Philly. So that thing will be going up. So.
All right. Interesting. Mike Brenner, is that it for you? Is that all you want to give for
I want to give a teaser because of the value, and then I'm going to
Okay, so we'll use we'll use a bookmaker, 10-point.
Let's do that. 10 points. It's going to be a
minus
3-teamer.
120. Okay.
That's it. Here we go. We're going to go with Detroit.
Okay, wait a second. So that'll put you at plus 14.
God, I love that.
Okay.
All right. Atlanta.
Okay. Well, that'll put you at minus 3.
That's beautiful. I love it. And also Kansas City, buddy.
Yeah, you love these teaser lines when I say them out loud, right? Okay, let's see. Where is Kansas City? Where the hell is Kansas City?
I know they're at home against Tennessee.
Where the hell is Kansas City? Oh, yes, here we go. Bookmaker. So that'll put you at plus 5.
I love it. Pete, I love it. I don't think there's any way in hell
KC is a tough team at home.
They're tough. And Andy Reid right now says he loves this defensive mind. He said the way they're thinking, and he said when at halftime, the defense is taking over the meetings at halftime. They're just like running shit at halftime. I love that.
It's a tough one because Mariota's coming off of a really subpar game, and he's a guy who I am looking to bounce back when he does have a bad game.
I know, you've got a good feel for him ever since he came in the NFL.
KC is such a tough team at home. They got that rookie Tyreek, and they got a defense.
But that's where I'm going, Pete. So with that being said,
all
I'm going to be going.
Why don't we do this? So is that all your picks?
No, I have one other.
Okay.
When I flip the page. I'm going to go Seattle on the first half opener, which will be a bookmaker opener.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to get bet up. They're going to be at home Thursday night against the Rams.
That's a tough one. That one I took the under on the opener at 40. Now it's down to 39.
I just read a report, Pete, before I walked in here that there is already some talks in the making, supposedly, that Jim Harbaugh just might wrap it up at Michigan and do what he does best and leave a program and head over to Los Angeles, who just extended Fisher, but they've already looked into how they can get out of that 2-year extension. And you know what? Fisher just got his ass handed to him by Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's going to be so far out of a job. This team will be nowhere near ready for this. And when your future and your franchise player, Todd Gurley, says this offense is run like a high school offense, I will show you the quote on my computer when we walk out.
That's
you know
tough,
what?
That's a tough
He's not giving his body this week either.
Yeah.
Seattle first half, baby, cash that ticket.
Wow. Okay.
God, I
all
love
right.
this, Pete.
Okay. We'll give you the. So again, this one, if you think it's going to get bet up, take the bookmaker opener. If you think it's going to either stay where it is or get bet down, take the pinnacle opener.
All right, you know what? I'm going to go bookmaker because I think it's going to get bet up. I really, really do, especially as reports surface.
And you know what I'll give for now? I might take it back, but I'll give the under 39.5 minus 113. I took the under 40. I bet that one.
I don't see the Rams scoring anything in that game, buddy. I'm not kidding you.
And
in
both
Seattle,
these-
that offense, they don't put up a whole bunch anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think that if they have a big lead late in a low-scoring game,
They're not gonna
I think
get
they're
hurt.
just going to salt it away. And same thing
you're
for
right.
for
Count it.
Seattle. So I'll take the
Like
full
that.
game under on that one, 39.5. All right, is that it for you, Mike?
That's
Brenner?
it, but I'm going to review
Yeah,
them
why
just
don't
so
you
I
review
make
them so
sure.
that I can take about 15 seconds to see what I want
got
to
it.
add
Uh-oh,
on.
that
All
means
right.
Pistol
Okay.
Pete's going to add about
No,
10
no,
more.
no,
Why not?
maybe
It's called
one
a
or two.
baker's
No,
dozen.
no.
All right, here we go. Tonight I'm using Patriots first half minus 3.5 and the full game minus 6. That's going to go on last week's record. All right, I'm going to be pulling the trigger on Atlanta. First half bookmaker opener, full game minus 13. I'm also going to be going Washington, full game minus 4.5, and Baltimore, full game minus 6. And then Seattle first half, I'm telling you, over the Rams, bookmaker opener on that one. And then a 3-team teaser with Detroit, Atlanta, and Kansas City. And I'm feeling it, Pistol.
All right, that sounds good. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to give Oakland minus 2.5, minus 120 at Heritage. I just think that it's you can make your arguments for San Diego, but Oakland's off the loss. They're off the long week. Bosa got
What's the
banged
line
up.
again?
2.5 minus 120.
I'm taking it. I'm jumping in with you.
It's a Heritage line.
You know what? I'm doing it. And that's just a confirmation. The fact that you took 15 seconds to rethink it. I'm on it because Oakland, Jack Del Rio's going to be fired up.
Well, yeah.
And it was cold as hell where they were. Guess what? They're going into a nice climate. It's basically, it's an in-state game. I love it.
Rivers can win a game all by himself, and if that happens, then you just take the loss. But
and it's not going to happen. This guy he's in that place again in his mind where he ends the year shitty. I got another coach heading out the door for real, and that's a dark place to be because that guy goes there year in and year out. So Oakland on the full game as well. I'm jumping in with Pistol Pete.
Minus 2.5, minus 120, and that's it for now, I guess.
I love it, man.
All right, sounds good. Mike Brenner, nice,
Five.
very nice opening line show for NFL Week 15. We'll definitely be back for a recap show on Friday at the least, and maybe we'll be back for some picks updates throughout the week. Tune in for that.
That's right. We're the odds couple. We're coming to you. Damn, Pete, I love my job.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.